Throughout the lengthy, tumultuous election season, polls have shown that Republicans have been confident about victory come November 2020, while Democrats have not. But based on recent developments, it's becoming increasingly clear that Biden and many other Democrats will win.
Exhibit A is Wisconsin. The Packers state is arguably the most important contest for the fall campaign. The three states that tipped the election to Trump in 2016 were Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Both Michigan and Pennsylvania elected or re-elected Democratic governors by larger margins in 2018 than did Wisconsin. And if the election does get decided in America's Dairyland, the voters this week shined a bright light on where the country is headed.
Leading up to this month's primary, the Wisconsin GOP wrote a new chapter in the unfolding books of cynicism and voter suppression.
Their greatest hits included fighting to block an extension for absentee balloting and forcing voters to choose between their health and their right to vote. The conservative majority of the Supreme Court even got in on the act.
Of course, Wisconsin Republicans were just putting their own spin on the GOP's favorite tactic of late.
In 2018, Trump acolyte Brian Kemp clinched the Georgia governor's race over a surging Stacey Abrams after the GOP instituted several voter suppression policies. Similar tactics were being deployed in states like North Dakota, Kansas, and Alabama. And Red Texas is closing down polling sites in Black and Latino communities, presumably to ensure that the only thing not bigger in Texas is the minority vote.
The suppressor-in-chief, thinking out loud as usual, cleared up just why he's against mail-in voting. As he told Fox and Friends on March 30, they have things, levels of voting, that if you ever agreed to it, you'd never have a Republican elected in this country again. We won't see universal vote by mail because the GOP would rather protect its minority rule government instead of embracing our democracy.
While mail-in voting is the latest obsession, the Trump White House and congressional Republicans have actively worked to suppress the vote by creating new barriers to the ballot box and purging voter rolls. Trump touts the importance of voter ID laws that don't solve a real problem but do benefit Republicans.
And the conservative Supreme Court justices have paved the way for states to have greater power to purge voter rolls, disproportionately disenfranchising people of color. Their decision was cynical politics hidden by legal chicanery.
Despite the best efforts by Republicans, the people of Wisconsin spoke unequivocally. The coup de grace in this electoral scandal is that the Wisconsin GOP forced the April vote to preserve a conservative seat on the state's Supreme Court. Instead, they lost the seat, mightily.
Despite an endorsement by Trump, the conservative incumbent for the state Supreme Court seat lost decisively to the liberal challenger, Jill Karofsky. She won by more than 120,000 votes, historic in a state that has close races that swing both ways. Recent contests have been decided by 30,000 votes or fewer.
The Democrats had a virtual but effective get-out-the-vote operation. And they had Trump's daily assault on values and democracy as prime motivators for every Wisconsinite who was ready for change.
The voters of Wisconsin responded in impressive fashion, despite all of the obstacles.
Since the shock of Election Day 2016, Democrats have significantly outperformed in battle after battle in their proxy war with Trump. He hasn't been on the ballot, but his kowtowed GOP has been.
This fall, Trump will finally be on the ballot. The Democrats won't need a proxy, and they won't be unprepared, again.
And no matter what tricks the Republicans try to pull, the voters will respond in kind by showing off our democracy. Stay vigilant, stay focused, and win. The good people of Wisconsin showed the way.